Hey, family. Welcome back to the channel. So, how's everybody doing out there? I hope all is well. It's a little late when I'm making this video, and it's like the day after the solstice. But I was just jumping back into some of my older studies, and I thought I need to share this with you guys because this is what I was reading and studying before I found the Megillah. And yes, it was basically about the stars. So the author of this is E W Bullinger, and this book was written in 1893. Well, it wasn't written, but it was published. So it was written during the 1800s, I'm guessing. Let me jump over and show you a little bit about this guy. So E W Bullinger, an Anglican clergyman. His name was Ethelbert William Bullinger. He died in 1913. He was an Anglican clergyman, biblical scholar, and an ultra-dispensationalist theologian. So he was one of the, what you could call the early church fathers, probably most likely. But he wrote a few books. Look at this. This is the one we're reading out of today. But also I have this companion Bible, and it was my study Bible that I learned what I learned. And it actually has 198 appendixes. We're going to look at one of the appendixes today. That's this one, Appendix 12. I'll go back up to the top, but this is from this companion Bible. And that name is pretty fresh, isn't it? The companion Bible. It's one of my synchronicities because if you know anything about the Holy Megillah, there are 30 travel companions of the Lord and the Lady, and that's what they are called, the companions of the Lord and the Lady. And from my research, I think they've been traveling on many worlds with the Lord and the Lady doing this Christ work. And so I was so excited to see that they were called the companions because I study with the companion Bible. And so we're going to read a little bit about this. It's about the stars, but let me try to give you guys a quick summary of what this video is going to be about, because what I wanted to do was shed light on the reason why I like to show the Stellarium program. I want you guys to know how important this is, to know really where these luminaries are, okay, how important it is, because this guy Bullinger told us that what was written in the Bible that we have in the original Hebrew, Chaldean, and Greek language, that it was taken from the stars. And so they got all the information from the stars and the names of the stars. So he was setting out this work to try to preserve these names of the stars. It's a lot of reading, so I'm not going to try to bore you with all the reading. I'm just going to try to sum it up. But he talks about the pictures that are drawn around the zodiac. Let me take this off till later. But that these pictures that were drawn, he says, were designed to preserve, expound, and perpetuate the one first great promise and prophecy of Genesis 3 and 15, that all hope for man, all hope for creation was bound up in a coming Redeemer, one who should be born of a woman, who should first suffer and afterwards gloriously triumph, one who should first be wounded by that great enemy who was the cause of all sin and sorrow and death, but who should finally crush the head of that old serpent, the devil. It says, these ancient star pictures reveal this coming one. They set forth the sufferings of Christ and the glory that should follow. Altogether, there are 48 of them, made up of 12 signs, each sign containing 3 constellations. These may be divided into 3 great books, each book containing 4 chapters or signs, and each chapter containing 3 sections or constellations. So, What he's saying is, I'll show you a little breakdown. He's saying that these constellations, so the first book is titled The Redeemer, and it tells of his first coming and the suffering of Christ. And he said that is in the sign of Virgo, and that branch that she's holding in her right hand, the name of that whole star and everything is telling this story of the promised seed of the woman, right? Como is a constellation that's right next to her. I'm going to go and show you. This is Como. They don't have the proper names anymore. That's the thing about a lot of modern stuff is getting scrubbed. But this is Como, and Como has a meaning too in its original name, the desired, the woman and child, the desired of all nations. And then the other constellation in this first chapter, Centaurus, and that's right here underneath. So far we have 1 star, 2 star, and 3 stars that are, he's saying, is a part of the first chapter. Oh, I left out Bootes, and we got one more. Let me go show you where Bootes is. That's him. ARCTURUS. It's Bootes, but they're scrubbing a lot of stuff on the modern stuff, so we can't find these clues. And like I said, I showed you this book was from the 1800s. So, and what he's telling us is that those stars that I just showed you are all a part of chapter 1 in this first book, The Redeemer, that's written in the stars. I've been just reading and finding out all kind of stuff, and I said, dang, let me share this with you guys, because this is the reason why it's important to know where the sun and the moon are, because there's a story up here. All right, so he says that's chapter 1 of the first book, and chapter 2 are these stars. And the title of chapter 2 is The Redeemer's Atoning Work, and that's Libra, CRUX, LUPUS, and Corona. And we can go and I can show you them too. There's Libra, LUPUS. Sometimes you got to find the right star because all of them aren't named. Or they all might have been named, but these are the ones that were preserved. So we got Libra, Lupus. This is the corona, the crown up here. It's hard to find which one would say corona, but CR, corona. This is the crown. And then there was one more in there. I think it was, let me see. CRUX, the cross endured. And that is in this right here. CRUX, a crux, the cross endured. So this is chapter 2. These stars that we just highlighted. So fresh, right? Chapter 3 is Scorpio, and the title of chapter 3 is The Redeemer's Conflict. And it's Scorpio, serpents, Ophiuchus, Hercules. So we can look at those. Scorpio, this is Ophiuchus. This is Hercules up here. And there was one more, right? Serpents. This is serpents or something, what he's holding. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4 constellations, or 4 stars, really, with the names. The constellations are just trying to describe what the names of these stars are. That's what the drawings are. It's not the, I'm just going to leave it there. All right, and then chapter 4 is Sagittarius, Lyra, Ara, and Draco. And you know I just showed you guys that we had a full moon was in Sagittarius, right? And so this is important. This is why I wanted to share it with you guys. So we had the full moon. I got this set till for the summer solstice. I put it back a day because today is actually the 22nd when I'm making this video, but I was doing my research and I wanted to show you guys why it's so important, why we should know exactly where the sun and the moon are, because these stars, these constellations are telling us a story. And so Bullinger says that chapter 4 in this first book, we're still in the first book, but it's Sagittarius, Lyra, Ara, and Draco. I'll show you them real quick. So Sagittarius, here's Ara, here's Lyra, and here's Draco. And I was doing research on this star a couple of weeks ago because I could see it with my naked eye outside, and I wondered what it was. And sure enough, when I came in and did the research, I was blown away, because this is the eye of, this constellation is called Draco. And so Al-Wade means who is to be destroyed. But the Rastaban comes from an Arabic word. I'll show you it, and it means it's derived from the Arabic al-Ras a-Thuban, and it means the head of the dragon. And it's also known as that al-Wade, which means the one who is going to be destroyed. All right, now I'm going to show you. And I was looking up this a couple weeks ago, and I did not know that the full moon was going to be lined up with these stars. So here's the other one, Al-Tamanin, L-Tanin, right? It's Rastaban too, the head of the serpent. And I didn't know. But I want to show you how lined up the moon was with that star, just to show you why it matters to know exactly where these things are happening at in the sky. Look at that mama moon lined up with the one who is to be destroyed, the head of the dragon, the head of the serpent. So over here, what he was saying, that's why this is so important, is that constellation is the devil cast down from heaven. And it's the end of the first book. So he does some more going into depth on the names of the stars. This is in that companion Bible that I had. Now what he's going to do is show you that the names of these stars are in the Hebrew Bible. What Bullinger has done is he has actually went through and documented the names of the stars and the places that they are in the Hebrew Bible. So he says, it will be noted that the modern names are used, but only for the purpose of reader identification. Some of these names were given in ignorance by those who had lost the primitive signification of the 12 signs and the 36 constellations. The Hebrew and Arabic names of these and of the principal stars contained in them are full of truth and eloquent in their teachings. Thus, Virgo, the Virgin, here we have the star Al-Jamak, Hebrew Zemach, the branch. That's in Isaiah chapter 4, verse 2, Jeremiah, Zechariah. All the other stars having cognitive meanings. We just looked at these four signs, and I showed you them how they're considered to be chapter 1 of the first book, and how their names mean what they mean to be telling us what they're telling us. So I think Al-Jamak is here. We only know that as Spica now, but he's telling us that in the Hebrew, it doesn't mean an ear of corn. It means the branch. I just want to read to you about Draco because that's where the moon was. The moon was in Sagittarius, and then I'm gonna get out of here because this could be very long. But I'll come and do another video on book 2 and show you where they are in the sky as well, the different constellations that are actually all included in one. So underneath Sagittarius, we saw Lyra, Ara, and Draco. Okay, and it says that in Sagittarius, the word in the Hebrew is Keshereth, and it means an archer. And you can read about that in Genesis 21 and 20. The brightest star in the Hebrew is Chanun, and it means the gracious one. You can read in that Psalms 45 and 2. In the Akkadian language, the name is Nunki, and that means prince of the earth. In the zodiac of Dendra, it's Pi-Meri. It equals graciousness. And Kenem, he conquers. So we just know him as Sagittarius, but he's got all these other names in these different languages. And Sagittarius doesn't have anything to do with the gracious one, prince of the earth, graciousness, he conquers. So that's why we're lost. We're like, oh, I'm a Sagittarius. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, the last thing I just wanted to show you was how all these constellations are connected to what this is saying. So Lyra, the brightest star, is Vega, and it means, Vega means he shall be exalted. In the zodiac of Dendra, it's Fent Kar, the serpent ruled, originally an eagle, from confusion between Hebrew Nesher and Sharik, song or music. So I don't know, but Ara is an altar. It says upside down, pointing to Tartus. It says in the Arabic, the name is Al-Mugamara, the completing or finishing. You can read that Al-Mugara in the Psalms. That Hebrew word is in Psalms 21, 9 through 12. And then Draco ends the first book, the dragon cast down. And Draco equals trodden on. You can read that in Psalms 91, 74, and Isaiah. It says, in the zodiac of Dendera, it is a serpent under the 4 feet of Sagittarius, and called Perfent, the serpent accursed. The brightest star is called Thuban, the subtle. So this ends the first book. Sagittarius, Ara, Vega, and this eye. It's Draco, and they means the name Alwade. I showed you what that meant. And Rastaban means the head of the dragon, the head of the serpent, something like that. And so, isn't that something that's exactly where the moon was during the summer solstice? And this is why I want you guys to understand how this matters. And this is why they're lying, because you can't tell me what's going on. I can look up here and I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? The dragon cast down. That's where the moon was, in Sagittarius, and it was full. Prince of the earth. All right, I'm gonna end it here, and like I said, I'll probably do another video showing us the second book and just going through the stars and showing you where they are in the sky. This is pretty fresh, right? All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, let me know, because I'll make more videos just about this. This is not, it's not about the Megillah, but it's just about the natural world around us and some of this information that has also been kept from us. And honestly, like I said, this is what I was studying before I found the Megillah, so I'm not going to just throw it out now. Actually, it was in the Megillah where the angel Gabriel said that the world does not know the true astrology. So I feel like it's something I want to find out. I want to figure out before I leave here. I want to have some of these keys so that I can use them in my next incarnation, or even just unlock some things for the next generation, you know? All right, guys, I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.